I think it's all about purpose and passion. If the companies and foundations can identify what is their purpose and passion and focus on building the models around those topics, and then find partners who can replicate that. The country still needs a lot of skilled entrepreneurs, the people who can run their own skilling centers.
Today we are joined by Dr. O P Goel, head of the Bosch India Foundation. He is an insightful leader with experience in the areas of customer service, sales force development, vocational training, and CSR. He also serves as a senior consultant to government skilling programs under the Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. With over 24 years of experience with Bosch, it is under his leadership that Bosch's Skill India skill development initiatives have received national level recognition. Dr. Goel, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Yamini, and same here.
Thank you, sir. Just to begin with, sir, we want to understand a little bit about your personal and professional background, and especially your stint with Bosch and how that started.
Sure. I joined Bosch 24 years before in the service department, but my passion was in serving the society. So I was always intending to go towards CSR, and the second part was making the rural youth employable. So I always was looking for some opportunity to train them and employ them. And that I got in 2008 when Bosch started Bosch India Foundation. And later when the CSR Act came, we took this skill development as a key initiative from Bosch. And that's where we are now. We have the three models of skill development now. One is the apprenticeship training, the German training model, which we are practicing here for the last 58 years. We have the bridge program, which is a 3-month program for school dropouts. Then we have an artisan training center. Actually, we have 3 centers, the world-class centers we have started for carpentry, plumbing, and electricians. And we also have train-the-trainer program. So this is what we do in the skilling space.
That's wonderful to hear, sir. So before we get into the specifics of the programs, just want to talk about Bosch's, long-standing history of being such a socially responsible organization with, a majority stake in the company being held by the charitable trust. So how is the organization still staying true to its historical vision?
Mr. Robert Bosch founded this company in 1886, almost 134 years before. And that time it was his startup. Now the company has become a global leader in automotive technology and component manufacturing. Mr. Robert Bosch has that time decided that majority stake of the company should be serving back the society, and later it was decided that 92% of the dividends coming from all the businesses of Bosch world over should go to a charitable trust. So now this trust called Robert Bosch Foundation, headquartered in Germany, get that much of share of the profits from all the businesses of Bosch world over, and that money does not come back to business. 100% of that goes to the charity.
That's great to hear, sir. So now just delving into the skilling initiatives, what are the different skill development initiatives at the Bosch India Foundation?
As I said, Shyamini, we have this old German 3-year apprenticeship program on which the Germans are very proud of, and very rightly so, because we know that in Europe, Germany has the least percentage of unemployed youth, and mainly the credit goes to the apprenticeship system. In India, in 1961, the year when the Apprentices Act came, it was decided to bring the German system here, and we are practicing that here in a training center, which is in Bangalore. This training center has been declared as the best apprenticeship center in the country by the President of India some 54 times. 245 apprentices from this center have won the gold medals in the competitions organized by the government of India. We had the privilege of hosting the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel. Both of them came to see this center and possibly wanted to discuss with us as to how the Indian youth, we have quite a lot of them, and the German skilling system, which is world class, can be combined together, not only to do good to these two countries, but also perhaps to the rest of the world. the second model is the bridge program, which is designed for those youth who do not opt for the higher education and they come out of the mainstream education system in the country and opt for jobs, but then they have to be skilled. So this is a short-term 3 months training, wherein 2 months training happens in the classroom and 1 month on the job. We are running this bridge program in 540 centers in the country now and already trained and employed about 30,000 youth. We ensure that all the candidates who come to the bridge centers, when they walk out after completion of this program, get a job. This was started in 2013 and we actually celebrated the 7th anniversary of bridge program in January 2020 this year.
Oh wow, sir, that's wonderful to hear how far the program has come. Now, in my research about the Bosch India Foundation, I came across the Train the Trainer program, which is quite unique to the Bosch India Foundation because there's so much emphasis given to ensuring that the kind of education delivered in your centers is, of top-notch quality. So can we just talk a little bit about that program?
Yes. The Train the Trainer program started by us. Initially, it was started for the bridge trainers, but then later we came to know that there are many other trainers in the country who are not working for bridge program, but they also need a good quality Train the Trainer program. So the content of this program do not restrict only to developing the high quality training delivery skills, which of course is the key element of the program, but we also include student mobilization and placement as two additional key element into the Train the Trainer program. We have so far trained about 700 of them, and the skill council called MEPSC, which is set up by NSDC, has a joint certification with Bosch now for training and certifying the master trainers in the country.
Okay, sir, that's great to hear. Now, just talking about the current pandemic that we are going through, impacted so many different education and skilling institutes. So how has the COVID era impacted specifically your placements at the bridge centers, and how do you think we can cope with this?
As the businesses have now, initially restarting, and some of the employers, particularly from the MSME side, have started contacting us because many of their employees have gone back. Then there's some kind of a reverse migration which has happened in the country, as we all know. And now when they want to restart their businesses, they are looking for skilled manpower. They have contacted us, and we are now trying to contact our bridge students and help them in getting those, connect with those skilled youth. There is one learning for us because of the COVID, and that is that the digitalization has become more and more important. And now we have started already developing some modules on digitalization, on social media marketing, and few other related topics, which we are going to now embed into the bridge program. All in all, we are very confident that our efforts of ensuring that all bridge students get 100% of the job on completion of the 3 months training will continue, and we will be able to maintain that.
That's great, sir. Now, there is a lot of concern regarding especially the more practical trades which require physical intervention or a more hands-on experience. So how does one, make that digital and, really kind of bridge that experience from going physical to digital?
Yes. While it would be unfair for me to say that all that what can be done in a workshop can be done digitally, but we have to make efforts to come as close to that as possible. And I think the videos are a great way to learn the practical things. So if we are able to produce high quality videos, perhaps that is one way we can eliminate the need for the students going to the workshop for hands-on training to some extent. But I wouldn't say that we will be able to replace that to 100%. I think some need for the practical training will still remain. We will have to find solutions to that.
Yeah, absolutely right, sir. Now, talking about the general industry you operate in, public and private partnerships are the way forward and have been used traditionally to expand one's skilling initiatives. So how has the bridge program specifically forged industry collaborations, both private and public, to widen its reach?
Yes, we collaborated with 3 state governments, first the Karnataka, then Maharashtra and Rajasthan, where the interest actually came from the chief ministers directly, and they requested Bosch that we should set up the bridge centers in the ITIs where there are spare capacity is available. So now we have the bridge centers in 8 ITIs in these 3 states in the country. We have also set up a model ITI in public-private partnership with Government of Karnataka and Government of India in Bangalore that has actually become a model, and now many other companies are also trying to replicate that model in their respective states. There are many other companies which are now showing interest to collaborate with us. We strongly believe that the CSR Act, which mandates this 2% spending of your profit for the social cause, is perhaps not going to solve all the problems of the country. You can only build models which can be replicated because the country needs much more than that. So that is what we promote, that through the public-private partnership, we can look at the models which can be replicated, which can be scaled. The companies can build successful models, but then scalability and replicability has to happen through the collaborations and partnership with the company to company as well as also with the corporates.
Definitely, sir. That's quite true what you've just mentioned. Now talking about the way forward and what's in store for the future. So which direction is the Bridge program or the general Bosch India Foundation heading in when it comes to skill training?
Well, of course, Bridge program currently is running, as I said, in 540 centers. Our ambition is to have at least one Bridge center in every district of the country. Hopefully, we will reach there by next year mid. We were targeting to reach by December 2020, but because of COVID, it's likely to get postponed. But our vision is not going to change. But our major focus now is going to be on rural bridge, because currently it is only in the urban areas. But the rural youth of the country also need a program like this. And rural bridge will be a little different than the current structure of the bridge program what we have, because that's not going to be only based on the soft skills, but we also have to include some technical skills, and we also have to prepare some rural entrepreneurs. So there is a lot of work happening in Bosch CSR to design that program, and hopefully as soon as the COVID allows us to go to the market, we will be able to launch that program and then scale it up into the rural India, which, as we know, is waiting very eager.
Yeah, definitely, sir. I think especially with the rural population, livelihood and entrepreneurship are two very important things to consider when breaking into that demographic. So that would be great to see, Bosch doing that. Now, sir, just talking about your experience, you've had 24 years with Bosch and kind of built the CSR from the ground up. So what are some advice or insights that you would like to give to foundations or businesses who are just trying to find their CSR vision and, trying to align with maybe an NGO or just trying to find what they want to do?
Yes. So let me first talk about advice to the foundations and the CSR departments of the company. I think it's all about purpose and passion. If the companies and foundations can identify what is their purpose and passion and focus on building the models around those topics, and then find partners who can replicate that. This is the best what the foundations and the CSR departments can do. So it is much beyond money. It is not about that 2% profit what you are going to spend. It is about how do you add value beyond money. And there are corporates, whether national or multinational, who have a lot more values to add than just giving the money in the form of writing the checks. To the individuals, I would say the country still needs a lot of skilled entrepreneurs, the people who can run their own skilling centers. So the students who are currently studying in their master programs, or even those who have completed, if they have a passion to make a difference, I will suggest them to undergo a training for themselves as to how they can start skill centers in the different districts of the country, in the talukas, even at the smaller town levels, and then replicate those models there, because this country needs many skilling centers, many training centers going forward. And this is my advice to them. It is not only about serving the society, but they can also build their own businesses and they can be their own boss rather than looking for the jobs in the different companies.
Definitely, sir. That's a very meaningful suggestion, especially about entrepreneurship, which is now coming up as one of the most important skills that most skilling initiatives need to cater to. And just to end with, sir, because of your experience in the skilling industry, What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that are facing the industry now, and how do we overcome those challenges in the future?
Challenges are four straightway, if I have to say. One of them is we do not have the updated curriculum to be taught to our students, particularly if we talk about the ITIs. I think we have about 17,000 ITIs in the country, and the curriculum which is being taught there need to be modified, need to be improved, need to be modernized. The second is the training the trainers. We have a lot of trainers in the country, but their knowledge is not getting updated at a frequency which it is required. So what is their current knowledge and what is needed in the industry is very different. So the second challenge is that we have large number of these trainers who need to be trained. The third one is the practical exposure of these students to the industry work environment. I mentioned about the German apprenticeship program, where about 80% of the training happens on the job. In India, the academia and industry still need to work much more closer so that the students who are undergoing this theoretical training in the vocational training centers have a chance to come to the industry and get exposed to what is currently happening in the industry. We have seen examples where in an automobile, the students are still being taught as a part of curriculum how a carburetor works, but where the cars in the country stopped using carburetors about 25 years before. So we need to expose the trainers and the students both to what is happening in the industry. And the fourth is about the infrastructure. We need to modernize the infrastructure available in our vocational schools. If I compare it with how this is there in Germany, I've seen the ITIs in Germany, which they call them as vocational centers. And from the infrastructure point of view, I've seen they are better than the engineering colleges what we have here in India. So we need to invest more in the vocational training system, because large number of our youth are still going to go for the jobs which are not linked to their higher education.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Those are very meaningful suggestions. And with that, we are going to end our interview, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of this. It was very inspiring to hear all the great work that the Bosch India Foundation has done under your leadership, and even greater to hear what is in store for the future. And I definitely hope we can reconnect again and have more conversations around skilling. So thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.